almost each one of you. And two, three things I have to place before everybody. It's very general kind of an observation that regarding Professor Santosh and Dr. Joby's presentations, that general apprehension which people have is that philosophy, does it belong to social sciences, or some kind of philosophy of science kind of a thing, but or it is something which belongs to humanities. So universities are constructed on this basis that philosophy belongs to the humanities and not to the social sciences. And just like literature, it deals with the problems directly. So philosophy also deals with the problems with some kind of direct acquaintance with it. And but later on, people realize that no, there is a method involved in philosophical investigation as well, and that brought it closer to what is called in philosophy of social sciences, and even in philosophy of sciences, natural sciences, and all that. This is one aspect. The other thing is that philosophy is a very foundational subject, because without philosophy you cannot understand political theories or historical developments, literary imaginations, economic things, equilibrium, etc. And so is the case with sciences also. And in fact, there are three subjects which are very foundational in nature: philosophy, mathematics, and history. We need these three subjects as the foundational ones to understand it. The other question came up about the philosophy as a pure philosophy and applied philosophy. Yes, we understand, and as Professor Santosh has also very rightly pointed out, that there is a pure philosophy, there is a rightful claim to pure philosophy, but there is also a practical philosophy, applied philosophy, so that philosophy does not become something which is otherworldly kind of a thing. And the distinction between abstract and concrete is something which is very fundamental here. The common sense and the science, in other words, or the science and philosophy, I feel that these distinctions are simply a matter of degrees and not of kind, because the world of human experience has to be studied in details, and also under some aspects of certain principles and categories and laws. While philosophers, generally speaking, they use terms like concepts and categories, scientists, they prefer such expressions as laws and theories. But categories of philosophy and the laws of science are instantiable and concretizable, because they have to be seen in the practical application. So that becomes something very fundamentally important one for every one of us. And that way I find that both the presentations are very substantive one. And Dr. Akwejam has done very, she spoke very uh, extempore kind of a thing, and took up the book Spectre de Marx in a very comprehensive manner. I had met Derrida when he was in the process of writing the book in 1998. And later on, the book came up, and we, of course, had interacted on it. So, in Paris and other places also. And it's a very comprehensive book and very mature ones. And she has taken up various issues on deconstruction as dismantling approach, not destruction or anything of the kind, while reading a text. And text is everything, actually. There's nothing which is outside of the text. So even this webinar is also a text kind of a thing. So text is something which is of that kind of a thing. And hauntology is what, as Marx has done, as Derrida has done, and she has gone into much details of it. And only one or two issues which are still left. That is, when we talk of Derrida, then in dialectics of Marx and also of Hegel, we find that there is a horizontal dimension of it and there is a teleological aspect of it. Derrida has accepted the horizontal aspect of it. Teleology is something where he is very apprehensive, because he does not think that there is a final struggle. There are struggles, more struggles, and much more, but there is no final struggle kind of a thing. So finality is something which has to be repudiated. And therein he takes up, the messianism also, which is there. And he considers Marx as a following messianism without a messiah, because there is no finality. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, the messianism leads to, it motivated by the messiah. That concept. Marxism also has it, but it does not have the messiah element into it. And that's why, in fact, in my personal interaction with Derrida, when he was writing the book, he said that if you read Marx's Das Kapital, he has not used the term dialectics at all, anywhere in the Das Kapital. But the three principles of dialectics, unity and the struggle of opposite, quantitative changes and lead to qualitative changes and vice versa, and negation of negation, have been very profoundly used by Marx. So every time he is, doing, whether it is miser and the capitalist interrogation in the Das Kapital Volume 1, and everywhere else, surplus and the commodification, etc. So dialectics is operating there as a, unity and the struggle of opposites. But in terms of its principles. So if principles are operating, that means dialectics is haunting. So we bring it. So is the case with Derrida also. He said that deconstruction is not a method, and but when he is doing it, then there is a logic of difference which is operating into it, identifying certain meanings and certain meanings postponing it. So that way, it's something very substantive kind of a thing, and plurality of struggles or plurality of ways of reading the text. Like when Paul Ricoeur said that the death of the author is there, then Lacan also comes out that the death of the author is the birth of the reader. Now reader is born. So when the reader is born and we leave everything on the reader, then we have to be very careful also, because there may be a terrorist way of reading the text. And this is how it goes out of hand. Then the text goes out of hand, if reader is all that is the case. So there are other issues, but I think the time is already, I have already crossed the time limits. So I hope Professor Nataraju will excuse me. So now I leave it on Professor Nataraju. Over to you, Professor Nataraju. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I really enjoyed this session.
Thank you very much, sir. We also enriched with your lecture. Thank you very much.
So what about the next session? It's at 6 p.m.
ध्यान करता हूँ अब वो मत चलाइए Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor R.P. Singh ji, for chairing the session and sharing your thoughts with all of us. And this session ends here. We will break for lunch. To only join back at 6 o'clock in the evening, 6 p.m. today. And we expect that all of you log in. Now, from evening onwards, we will all log in. We will stop this LED screen. All of us will log in, or maybe a laptop here or a laptop there, and then all of us will be. And mute, each one of us will mute ourselves, and then therefore we can be able to hear very well, uninterruptedly. Even when there is a presentation from here. So in such a scenario, we need not log in, we can hear to the person. But when somebody is online, all of us must log in, and then, if possible, we'll put on the video only, but the audio through the earbuds. So we will all log in and listen to everybody. That's how it will be.
Now it is fully online. Now it is fully online.
Professor R.P. Singh ji and yes, Professor Santosh Kumar Palji and Manas Jyoti, Jobby Varghese. So it's been a good session to start with, and technological issues, the glitches, the hiccups. They're all part of the show. It's the first time we attempted the blended version, and it seems there is still problems. India is always a developing nation. We're not a developed first word. A developing nation always has issues. We're always understanding, developing. It seems to
now, now you are going to online fully.
Sorry, sir, unmute and speak, sir. Unmute and speak. Unmute and speak.
Now we are going online fully. Now we are going online fully. That is my question.
You have not unmuted yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now speak.
Now, what I am saying that now we are online, fully online, or some blended mode. That is my question, nothing else.
So that also
partly.
Even that he couldn't hear. So I mean, leave it at that. But evening onwards, we are devising further plan. There are around 40-50 participants here. So 50 of us will join online. So we will be sitting here at 6 o'clock to listen to Professor R.P. Singhji on deference and Darida. Professor, we will be assembling here.
Okay. So I'm leaving now.
Okay.
AirPods or earpods, every one of us can properly log in and listen to the other.
रिक्लेम होस्ट, हाँ रिक्लेम होस्ट तुमको बनना है ना होस्ट, रिक्लेम कर लो या फिर को होस्ट करना है तो होस्ट उधर होस्ट है, ठीक है, ये को होस्ट है, लाइव भी बन रहा है, लाइव का भी सब का है, हाँ सब कर लो,